Come on. Sometimes the comments don't load, the ones from before the stream starts. So if I missed you, apologies. Welcome back to the shop. Thank you guys for tuning back in this week after last week's hiatus. I didn't know if I was going to talk about this, but I want to at least let you guys know what's up. We had a pet bunny, and we lost her last Sunday, which is why we didn't have a live stream, because I was dealing with that, and also not a person. Hey, Brian. So I've basically been resembling more of a puddle than a person this week, but the hardest part about pets is that we lose them eventually, and that's really hard. And I have not really had to deal with that much personally until now, which I feel very fortunate for. But it's been really affecting us, myself and Joe and my family. So yeah, I appreciate everybody's patience while I completely ignored all emails, messages, and comments this week while I was dealing with that. So thank you. Thanks, Brian. That means a lot. So I wanted to get the sad stuff out of the way first. We are doing okay. I won't be properly okay for a long time, but yeah, Chris, we had a pet bunny pass away last Sunday, and so it's been a hard week, and I appreciate everybody's grace as I put myself back together after this. So with all the sad stuff out of the way, welcome back to the shop. And my ever-changing backdrop here, I have once again reorganized. So we'll see if this sticks. I don't know if it's going to or not. Yeah, dude, same here, man. We have 3 dogs and a cat, and we had the bunny, and so it's honestly it's like the worst feeling. It's awful, and I'm sure if anybody's ever lost an animal, you go through all of the what could I have done differently and all that kind of stuff. So I really appreciate all the sentiments. I am going to try really hard to not talk about it more, because I don't want to cry in front of you guys. And it's been a really hard week. So let's thank you. I appreciate the kind remarks. I appreciate all your thoughts. But let's not talk about it anymore. So that I don't get too sad on the live stream. That would be great. I just picked these things up off of an Amazon overstock type place. I don't know if I love them or not. They seem pretty nice. It's gonna be nice for storing things that I don't want to get too dusty, like my carpet tape and my label printer and things like that. I like that I can see into them because I have ADHD, and out of sight is out of mind. So I like that they're translucent on the front. We'll see. We'll see how we like them. And then I got one of these little guys that I haven't filled yet. This is from Harbor Freight. They have these mini toolboxes. And I thought that'd be nice. That might be nice to put the bushings and stuff that I'm using every week. So, without further ado, let's talk about what we're going to make today. So, actually, I'm going to move you guys over here. Ready? Whee! Alright, so let's get you guys sorted onto here. So, got our Apollo bushings. So last time, we worked on this blank, and it's got the black Apollo kit on it. It's got some schmutz, so ignore that. Schmutz is fine. We can clean up schmutz. But essentially, I went into this blank. I had saved this blank from the trash pile because it was so nice and swirly and beautiful. But I knew it had bubbles in it, and I just don't know that it's worth saving. We tried to save it, but the bubbles are just insane. So what we're going to do today is we're actually going to save the hardware, because this black hardware is obviously, you know, because we have to pay to get the colors done, we have to charge more for the colors. So the black kit is more expensive than the steel. I don't want to waste a black kit on a blank with bubbles. So I'm going to show you how to save the kit and turn the blank off of it. We are going to destroy the blank in the process, but that's okay. We're also going to turn this HempWood blank that we prepped weeks and weeks ago. Thank God I wrote what it was for, because I never would have remembered. It's for the field click from Turner's Warehouse. So I've got one of those around here somewhere, and we will turn that bad boy. And then I also have this Fire on the Mountain blank that I prepped, but I have not squared the ends or anything of it yet. And this is for a click pen that I've never made before. It's actually a prototype from years ago of the click pen we were going to carry for Bullseye, and there was a lot of reasons why we didn't carry it. Mostly the click mechanism itself is not as reliable as like the Schmidt click. But I'm thinking that if we have time today, we'll go ahead and turn that and see. Here's some of the parts for it. And it's, you know, really nice and nice looking, but the actual click mech has a lot of plastic, and it's just not as reliable. So we'll see if we get to that. That's kind of the backup plan for after doing these. But let's talk about HempWood first. And as we go to talk about HempWood, woohoo! Back to the other camera. Sorry about my finger in the lens. Yeah, so let's go back to here and talk about HempWood. There's been a big discussion about HempWood today over on Facebook. And so since we're not drilling this blank, I just wanted to talk about a couple of things. HempWood is made with 20 tons of, is it 20,000 tons? See, now I can't remember. It used to be 8,000 and they upgraded the machine. I think now it's 20,000 tons of pressure that they make HempWood with. My buddy Greg owns the company. I am the factory representative for the craft market and specifically for Southern California as well. I'm also the only stabilizing partner for HempWood. Other people stabilize it, that's fine, that's great. But I work officially with HempWood as their stabilizer. So if you buy any stabilized HempWood off of their website, it's coming from me. So, all that being said, I know a thing or two about the material is the point. One of the number one things that people mess up with HempWood is they treat it like it's solid maple, like it's walnut. Like, you could just be as aggressive as you want to be with it, and that'll be fine. And to a degree, you can be kind of aggressive with it, but because it's made in a hydraulic press, right? So they're pressing all of these bajillions of fibers together with an adhesive to create a man-made lumber product. So when you think about its construction, and when you think about its grain structure, it's a lot more like OSB than it is a solid wood. And you have to think of it that way when you're turning it. So it's going to turn more like Fordite, it's going to turn more like an OSB, because it is thousands and thousands and thousands of fibers smashed together. So one of the number one things that I see people mess up with HempWood is they're trying to turn it super aggressively and then it blows up on them. So how do we fix that, right? You want to keep your tools razor sharp. And if you need to zitzel off the corners to make your life easier, there's no shade in that either. There's absolutely no problem there. I see a lot of people do it, and when I'm feeling lazy, I do it too. One of the things with HempWood is that, sorry, I'm putting some tools away as we talk. Like Bruce just said, I think that was Bruce, you want to take light cuts. Light cuts helps a ton. You want your tools to be razor sharp. You want to not use a barrel trimmer. So when you trim these edges and get that flush, use a sanding jig of some kind, whether it's for your belt sander, whether it's for your lathe. Make sure you're sanding and not using a barrel trimmer, and I'll explain why. So when you're using a barrel trimmer, and I'm just going to show you this one that insert doesn't fit. I like don't even use barrel trimmers ever, really. I use them to like clean up epoxy. Okay, so this is obviously not the right reamer size, but you get the idea. So when you're engaging a barrel trimmer on the hemp wood, you're taking all these little blades against all these little fibers, and it's wanting to rip all those fibers apart. You're introducing way too much of a potential for failure there, because all those little blades, especially if they're not sharp, I think you'd probably be better off if you had like the woodpecker set with the carbide. That might work a little bit better. I haven't tried it personally, and I don't recommend it, but you know, it might work. I would love to hear from somebody. But yeah, those blades want to tear this apart, and it's like the #1 way to get a failure with hemp wood. The second thing is that when you glue your tube in, epoxy is going to be your friend. 5-minute epoxy on gluing your tubes in. I don't care if you use CA on anything else, use 5-minute epoxy on hemp wood. It soaks into the fibers better, it gives you a better grip, and it's not as brittle as CA. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do with all your other tubes. I'm a big 5-minute epoxy fan, but specifically for hemp wood, it will work wonders. Yes, the 60-degree center is a great point also. If you're doing something closed end, glue a piece of scrap onto it if you're doing something closed end, because that 60-degree center is acting like a wedge against all those fibers and wanting to split them apart. So that's a very good point also, Bruce. I was thinking more of like a traditional blank with a tube, but yeah, if you're doing something where the end has to be closed, absolutely. Yeah, Robert, like, absolutely, dude. It's one of the things that I say about most of the Bullseye products, because we're working on some introductory stuff for more beginner type pen turners, but most of our stuff is intermediate, especially the closed end kits and the hemp wood. Those are probably the two most intermediate things. And you're gonna go to school on the first one you do. If you whether it's the hemp wood or the closed end kit, if you let yourself get discouraged after that first one, you'll never make an awesome one. The first one's always going to be a little rough. That's where we learn all of our lessons. You have to go into it not with all of the experience that you've had making pens, but rather with the eyes of a beginner saying, this is a new kit, this is a new material. I need to pretend that I've never even made something before and let myself be open to those lessons. I have had some people who are brand new beginners do better with hemp wood than people who have been turning for 30 years because they have the heart of a student, not the mind of a master, if that makes sense. Oh, Jess, don't worry, I still go to school on a lot of them. But let my mistakes be your lessons. So, without further ado, let me find the bushings for the Field Click, because I just did a big reorganization in here, and I don't necessarily know where those went. Yeah, so I was trying to clear my bench, and then I put these away, and I think that these bushings are in here. So let's see, yeah, Field Click. And our good friend Brian here at TBC Bushings made these beautiful, beautiful turn between center bushings for me for the Field Click. And I like this kit. It's probably my favorite click pen that does not use the Schmidt mechanism, which I know is pretty specific. It's almost like a Kobe stat, but, or no, a LeBron stat. That's what it is, a LeBron stat. So we got our bushings in here, and now let's flip you guys around and get our lathe set up. So let's see if we can get you guys sort of focused in here. Alrighty. And then we're gonna be using 60-degree, get that cleaned out, 60-degree dead center, and a 60-degree live center. Ooh, my tailstock is gunky. I must have let that sit with some moisture in it because that is nasty. All right. Somebody is messaging me on Facebook, and if you're here and you're watching and you're messaging me on Facebook, cut it out because it keeps it keeps popping up, and I'm on a live stream. Gosh darn it! All right. Lock that down. So this is an offcut from another pen I did recently that I think we drilled on a live stream. So we're coming all the way back around with it. All right, so we're gonna start out with our round carbide cutter. And I'm gonna use this to get us probably 90% of the way there on the size. The tape is such a pain in the butt. We put the tape on to protect the labels, but then when you're actually turning it, it's kind of a pain. So I apologize to anybody else who has dealt with this. I have not dealt with this very much, to be honest, because I typically am not turning stuff that came out of stock. I'm typically turning stuff that I did not deem good enough for you guys. So apologies for our tape woes. So as you can see, I hold my carbide tools slightly at an angle so that I get kind of more of a skew cut. And you can see that's really nice and smooth, actually. The only fibers that are being weird are the ones where the tape was. Everything else is like really baby smooth, so. Now, if I'm honest, this blank is super oversized for this kit. This is a lot to turn down. But we're getting there, slowly but surely. But you can see we got little fibers sticking up here and there, but no big cracks, no big blowouts. And to be honest, I should really listen to my own advice, and I should rotate this cutter, because it is not cutting nearly as smooth as it should, and I can feel it getting hot. So if your blade is getting hot, guess what? You're not cutting. You're just applying friction. Oh, that's better. Garrett, to answer your question, I have not tried that, but if it's not broke, don't fix it. If that's what works for you, then I love it. My snot's gonna be so pink after this. I do think that this carbide is on its last legs. I've resharpened it 100 times, and I think it's about seeing the end of its days. But we'll try and get through this. So, at this point, we can move our tool rest a little closer. But I love the hempwood in red wine. I think red wine is like one of the coolest colors for it. Excuse me while I rotate this cutter again. Like I said, it's not really holding an edge anymore because it's so old. I have probably had this same carbide on this tool for 2 years. Yeah, it's super hot. We might have exhausted this one. So, let's see. Let me see what else I should use. I can use this one. So, this is a radiused square. I don't want to engage with the square until I'm closer to the bushings, but the radius should be sharp enough to get us to where we need to be. Not even close. Not even close. Hey guys, buy stuff from Bullseye so I can afford to get new carbide cutters. I'm just kidding. Not really. Yeah, I don't like that. Let's see, what else do we have in our box of toys? Let's try a magic skew. So that actually works really nice. I'm going to show you guys how nice that cut was because that felt great. Yeah, wow, look at that. That was pretty great. I don't know if I want to take it all the way down with that, but I know that some folks were like, what about a negative rake? I don't know is the answer, so let's try it. Again, this is doing more of like a scraping. Than a cutting, but it seemed to make a nice like finish pass. Yeah, I mean that looks pretty good. That's nice. So I think the answer is that the magic skew or the negative rake would be great. I'm gonna try and find some moderately sharp side of this round cutter and get us to the finish line. I'm just checking to see if the blank is hot. It's a little warm. Heat is not your friend when it comes to hempwood, or most things, because heat is friction. So now that we're pretty darn close to the bushings, which we did entirely with, I would say more or less entirely with that round tool, because the other stuff didn't really work. Now we're going to move on to our square cutter. And that is looking freaking awesome. So now we just got to get it down to the bushings. It's looking good. I'm just double checking it because I could see these little like frays on the end spinning around as it rotates. So I was just checking them out, but they're still attached. They're not in any sort of crack or anything. So I'm gonna rotate this cutter too, put a fresh side on for these finishing passes. Don't be stingy with sharpening your tools or moving to a sharp side of the tool, as it were. I think I'm a little low. There we go. All right, let's take a look. That's looking pretty sweet. So I'm gonna thin it out a little bit, put it on a little bit of a slim fast diet here. All right. That feels nice, and we're right smooth to the bushings. So I think that's a great place to stop and sand. Does anybody have any questions so far? Let's see. Yeah, I think we're caught up on the comments. So let me go get the shop vac, and I can get this cleaned up a little bit so that we can move on to the next step. Alrighty. Let's get this bad boy hooked up. Should have brought this in before we started, so thanks for your patience, guys. Alright, let's see. Let me just get this cleaned up so that we can sand in peace. Alright. Sweet. That's looking so good. Nice. So, we're going to take it off of the bushings because I do not... this is my dust collector hookup, but I don't run the dust collection on the live streams because it's too loud. So, that's what that is. So, I do not sand with the bushings on. I swap them out. And I also swap out my centers. And I use these turn between center mandrels to do all of my sanding and finishing so that I don't sand my blanks. Or sorry, I do want to sand my blanks so that I don't sand my bushings, and so that my bushings last longer and everything, and gives me a better finished edge on the ends of the blanks also. So let's okay. So there we go. Let's get you guys back in your spot. I'm a little annoyed that it's not focusing. It really wants to focus on everything but the blank, huh? That's obnoxious. Let's see if that works. That might be better. Alright, cool. So we'll do that. So I'm going to start with 240, and then I'm going to do 400, and then we're going to do a friction polish. So I have a roll of 240 over here off camera. This is Abernet sanding mesh. I'm going to take our lathe down to about 1100,000 RPM and get some good sanding on there. It doesn't need a whole lot, but that's going to get out any bumps and any tear out. Alrighty. And now we'll grab a piece of 400. I do also have 320, but it's not always necessary to do that middle step, in my opinion. At least not on pen blanks. It makes a difference on things like bowls, but on pens you can't really see the difference. Alrighty, that is looking beautiful. So now we'll go ahead and we'll get some of our alcohol and wipe the blank clean. Whew. Dang it, that is something else right there. What do you guys think? That is pretty awesome. Alright, so what do we do next? We do sanding sealer. So this is Mylan's sanding sealer. And the lid is once again glued to the bottle, and I forgot to give Brian the measurements. So here's what we're gonna do. Give me 1 second. Hi. So, Brian, pay attention. I got my channel locks. This is what I have to do every time I need the sanding sealer, is I have to use the channel locks to get it open. So, all right, Brian, this is your moment of truth, my friend. The inside measurement of this can is 17.83 millimeters. Oh, it's just a hair under 3/4 of an inch. It's 0.68 inches. So, Brian, in there, 0.68 inches. The outside is approximately 0.98. I hope you wrote that down, because I did not. All right. Listen, bud, if I didn't do it on the live stream, I was never going to remember to do it. So, thank you all for putting up with that. And let's go ahead and wipe this blank down with some sanding sealer. There's one little tiny fiber missing right there. It's very small. Guess what? That's where we're going to put the clip. That sucks, because the whole thing's like perfect, and then there's one little chip missing. If you were doing a CA finish, it wouldn't even be a thing. It would fill that in perfectly, but I don't want to do a CA finish because I am feeling lazy. And the CA finish takes me longer. Alright, so that's 2 coats of sanding sealer. You really only need 1 on most things, but on HempWood I always do 2. Because I'm a little extra. Like that. Okay. And then we have our Yorkshire grit. And I finally can throw away this really crappy piece of white Scotch-Brite, because guess who just got a whole brand new box? It's me. I got a whole brand new box. So, thank you to everybody who sent me links to white Scotch-Brite pads. I'm just going to cut a piece off of this because we don't need this whole damn thing. Alrighty, so got a little brand new piece. Scotch-Brite came from Amazon. It is not Scotch-Brite brand, which was what I was trying to find. And for some reason, I cannot find the Scotch-Brite brand in white anymore. But somebody sent me a different brand. It's called Duragold. So we'll see how it comes out. Oh, turning the lathe up because this is a polishing compound. Sorry, I'm just putting the lid back on the Yorkshire grit, and I'm grabbing a paper towel. because the Yorkshire grit is wax based, and that wax will affect your finish with the friction polish. So you want to make sure you're getting all of that off. It works better if you use a white towel, but you can kind of see, like, you know, the wax that we got off of there. If you use a white towel, you can just go until it's not dirty anymore. But I keep blue towels by the lathe, so, you know, do as I say, not as I do, something like that. So for the friction polish, I've been wanting to try the Mylands friction polish, but I don't have any yet, so we're just going to use Doctor's Woodshop Pens Plus. This stuff is pretty nice. I like it a lot. Yes, it is being recorded. So the, hold on, I'm reading all the comments. Okay, so the live streams get recorded and then posted. So you will be able to go back and see the beginning. So you don't need a whole lot. That's actually probably way too much, but dang, that looks good. I'm gonna get you guys a better angle. See if that works. Come on. I don't know how Zach does it. I know he's got cameras that are solid, but one of these days I'll get cameras and not just use my phone. So. Actually, like, let it get a little too hot there. I'm burning myself. I'm gonna burn my fingerprints right off. Alright. So, I'm just gonna take the little clean part of this and wipe off any excess oil that didn't melt in. And then that, my friends, is a finished HempWood blank. So, hi. Let me grab a field click. Hopefully I have one in like gold, because I don't think the gunmetal or the black is gonna look good with this. Let me see. I don't know if I have any out here. They might all be put away, but I'm gonna check. Hope you guys like my my little songs. Alright guys, so I have a couple of field click kits. I have gunmetal, I have matte black, so I don't know if you guys can see. That's the gunmetal, which I don't think is the correct choice. I have the matte black, maybe. I have, another gunmetal, sorry, I thought that was chrome. And then I have antique brass. And I think that the antique brass might look good with the pink. I don't know. Garrett's saying gunmetal and it does kind of look like Purple Heart. It's actually very close in color to Purple Heart. Yeah, I don't know. You guys think the gunmetal with the pink? Okay. I mean, I trust yous. Now see, Bruce says black. Can you guys just like come to a consensus? Please. So, let's move. Oh, okay, so there's the drill press. That's where I'm going to press this together. So in the meantime, hold a component against the blank. Okay, hang on one second. Let me get these out of here. So, let's get, try to get the black one out too. I don't know, guys. This one's tough. But my mind is so, like, I'm so much better at cool colors that, that these warm colors are hard for me. So I'm going to flip you guys around. All right, ready? So here's your three options. Here's the blank. So it would be like that, or like that. I don't know, what do you guys think? Yeah, see, my gut said to go with the antique gold, this antique brass. The black looks okay. I think we could get away with the black. I don't know that the gunmetal. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think it's the brass. And like I said, I wish I had a gold one. You know what? Let me check the drawer. Let me see if I stashed one away or something. Because I just definitely, like, shoved a whole bunch of stuff in these drawers earlier today. And there might be one. There might be one. Let me see. Because I thought I had one. That's why I'm like, let's see. Yeah. Junior George. Apollos. Yeah. Okay. I think the brass is our choice. I think the brass is the one that we've got going for us. Okay. So let's. Hi. All right. Let me get all these parts out of their bags. And I will spare you guys from watching me put all those other pieces back into their bags. So, first and foremost, I want to say that this is garbage. This ink that comes with these, with pretty much any kit, with some exceptions. There are definitely some exceptions. But these, like, unnamed, unlabeled Parker refills, they're garbage. Don't buy those. Well, sorry, they come with every kit, but I replace every single one. My preference is the Easy Flow 9000 by Schmidt. A lot of people also like the Schmidt P900. We carried both at Bullseye, but we only started carrying them because I'm such an ink snob that I was getting so sick of these, like, garbagey refills that come with the kits. So I started buying them in bulk for me. And honestly, that was one of the first things Bullseye carried was, besides our blanks, was the ink. For that exact reason. So, I am just lining up our components here. I think the gold was the right choice, the antique. And then I'm going to unscrew the plunger so that we can press this together. Hopefully that doesn't bite me in the butt. I don't know how else you're supposed to press it together. Alright. Don't walk into the tripod. Or the arm. It's That is not bueno. Okay. Let's see if I can't get this screwed back on. Okay, perfect. I'm putting the ink in here just as a placeholder so that we can finish this. But I am not under any circumstances letting this leave my shop with this ink refill. How's that stuck? Do I have my spring on backwards? Yeah. It's the most annoying part about springs, is that they can be backwards. Let me get that twisted on better. Yay! Awesome. It's not the best click pen in the world, but it's not bad. Just feels like it's like a little, like, you guys hear that? It's not sexy, you know? It's not bad, but it's a little too, I don't know, scratchy sounding, but I like it. I think it looks pretty. What else were we going to do? Oh, we're going to save, let's see, we're at an hour, but real quick, we're going to save this guy. So I've got my Apollo mandrels. Also, if you guys have any other questions about HempWood, you can always reach out to me. You can Facebook message me, you can email me. I am very slow to answer emails. This is the Field Click kit. I've only ever seen it at Turner's Warehouse, but it might exist somewhere else. This hat's making me sweaty. It's hot in the shop today, but you can get your bullseye hats on the website. Yeah, dude. So, what were we talking about? We were talking about this kit and how we're gonna save the black kit and take this bubble-filled blank that I tried in vain to save off of there. What was the other thing I was gonna say? Dang it, I completely forgot. Well, if somebody reminds me, gosh, give me 1 second. Sorry. Oh yeah, I was saying it's hot in the shop today. I'm like sweating my butt off. This is gonna be really fun when summertime rolls around, guys. I got sawdust all over my glasses, so sorry. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and pop these centers off of our lathe. I'm realizing you guys are looking at me and not at the lathe, but that's okay. And then we're going to put our collet chuck on here. We're going to put our live center on the other side in case we need it. I don't know if we will. And then I was doing rings the other day, so this is not the correct collet. Come on. So, switch to the collet. The 3/8 collet is the one that works for these kits. Now, I have the luxury of being the distributor and designer of these. So, for me, I can just take this blank with the cap and chuck it because I have 100 of these caps. But if you guys wanted to, you could turn off the cap. And if we have time, I'll do that also. But the body's a little more important to save in this particular instance. So I am going to go ahead and engage the tailstock right in the end there. Get that down all the way. And yeah, and then the next thing that I want to make sure that we do is I have the matching part here, And I want to know how far in this goes. So right about there is our magic spot. So we need to part off all the way to there. Let's go ahead and mark that all the way around. There you go. Now we can see it. Oh. That's supposed to be plugged in. So I'm going to take a parting tool like right about there. This parting tool has seen better days. So now you can see down inside of there. And now that is trash. Bye. So now we can move this guy up in here. Ooh, there's some epoxy squeeze out going on in there. Let me get in the way. Right. That should be better. Okay. We're gonna part it. So what I did right here is I parted it down to the steel. If you cut off some of that plating, that's okay, because guess what? That part gets glued in. So that's not a big deal at all. Oh, whoever just put in an order, thank you so much. So let's go ahead. Now remember, this little ring up here is also plated. So I want to sneak up on that cut so that I don't ruin that. So yeah, as you can see, our black plating is still intact. We do have some residue, some epoxy residue, but that's okay. And then we could just turn that bad boy off. so far away. So right there you can hear him hitting the steel. Now I can get all of that off. And now this is ready to glue into a different body, into a different blank. And we've effectively saved this kit. The only other thing that I'll do is I'll grab a little piece of 240 sandpaper and I'll get some of that epoxy off. And it doesn't have to be going that fast at all. And is this part really necessary? Maybe not. But now that is nice and smooth and can be glued into a new body part. I will say that worked incredibly well, and I've never actually had to do that before. So he lives on for another project. So now let's get our cap mandrel in there. And we're gonna do the same thing. Got a little more to go. All right. You can feel the texture difference when you hit the Delrin. So, because Delrin is very slippery, we actually knocked these rings loose. Let's see if I can get it off. So, the cap pulled right off. Let's see. Let's see what else we can get off of here. Yeah, because Delrin's really slick. So if you don't scuff up this Delrin, like, it will want to slide on you. I mean, it's not so bad where like everything's gonna break loose, because even though I parted this off, even though it'll rotate, it's not coming off, which is good in theory, but in practice for what we're doing right now, it's annoying. So I'm trying to see if I can screw it off, and I don't know if that's working at all. It's really not. I was trying to take the easy way out, guys. But alas, it had other plans. So that's one piece. And this, if anything, shows you how important the epoxy is. Ow. Pinched myself. All right. We actually made it so hot that we melted the Delrin a little bit. That's crazy. You guys see that here? Flip it back around. So, yeah, that's weird. Okay, well, we somehow melted the Delrin right in there. Or like wore it away as I was doing this. It's pretty funny, actually. All right, let me get a knife. This is being a pain in my booty. Alright, so I'm just going to get a knife in there because it's nice and thin. Bam. Bam. Alright, there you go. And now that cap has survived to live another day. So I hope that was helpful. Sorry, you guys are covered in resin shavings. Yeah, I hope that was helpful in some sort of way. I know that, you know, sometimes you break a blank or whatever. It doesn't necessarily mean that your kit is completely toast. Just like turning something off of a tube if you really need to. I mean, tubes are cheap, but these kits aren't. So, you know, if you make a mistake or something, it's pretty easy to save it and start over. All that being said, I want to talk about HempWood one more time. I hope that you guys got something out of this HempWood turning. Just a reminder, we did that whole thing with carbides. No grinder, no 80 grit gouge, nothing like that. And it came out great. So whenever people say to you, like, you know, that I've seen comments that say like that stuff's not worth turning, or you know you have to sand it to shape or whatever. Not if you're careful, not if you're patient, not if you keep your tools sharp. So, yeah, that's it. Also, if you buy any HempWood blanks from us, they come with an info card that gives you tips and tricks, which is basically everything that I just told you. Put onto a nice little business card just for you guys because I love yous. And that was worth the money to get those made, because it helps. I don't have any out here to show you, unfortunately, because they're all at the shipping desk. But I hope you guys had a great week. I hope you have a great week upcoming. I hope your weekend was phenomenal. If you pray for our little bunny girl that we lost last weekend. Pray for us, or just keep us in your thoughts. We're doing better, but it's grief is hard. Grief comes in waves. It's like a bruise, and it's tough stuff. So she was only 2 pounds, but the weight of losing her is so much more. So oh, that's awesome. I'm glad that you turned the HempWood for a one-hitter. The one-hitter kits are awesome. I really like them. I haven't done one on a live yet. Maybe we'll do a one-hitter next week. And thank you, Vinny, for that comment. It's been rough, and I said I wasn't going to bring it back up because I didn't want to get sad. But, you know, if you got pets, you know, give them big hugs. Big hugs and kisses from us at Bullseye, especially me and Joe. Yeah, I think that's it for me for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that this was helpful. Make sure you drop a comment about what you would want to see. Thanks, Jess. That means a lot. Drop a comment about what you would want to see for some future live streams. I know we want to get into doing clips. I haven't done a clip before, I mean clips on the closed end and bespoke stuff. I haven't done one before. I don't really want to do my first one on camera, but you guys could probably convince me to do that. We could learn together if you're into that. It wouldn't really be a teaching live stream, more of a discovery live stream, but if you guys are into that, then I'm into that. Let's see what else. Yeah, just let me know what other stuff you want to see. We're gonna be doing HempWood intermittently. I don't want to bore you guys by doing HempWood all the time, but on the other hand, I find that it's what I get the most questions about. So if there's other stuff you want to see made of HempWood or anything like that, then we can go over those kinds of things and keep it interesting. I think that's it. I don't know if I have anything else, but I love you guys. Stay safe, and we'll see you next weekend. All right. Peace out.